Now, back to PTR Radio.
Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth.
This is PTR Radio.
All right, good evening, everybody, and sorry we are running just a little bit behind here, but as always, I had to go and mess with something. So that puts us 10 minutes behind in our 60-minute show. So...
That's okay.
So, for those that are unaware, I tried to do some streaming last week with mixed success. It was mixed success both in the performance of the streaming and in the performance of the gameplay. So, it just, I did a personal best on one round and a personal worst in another. So, I guess that is the way that gameplay goes. But anyway, so hopefully things will get better on that front and this front, and we'll be able to switch seamlessly between the two. I don't know. Maybe. That's the dream.
Well, you know what the trick is, right? You need a dedicated gaming broadcast machine.
Sure. Yeah, that'll go over. Well, I'm trying to get a racing rig first. I really need a steering wheel.
But you are well aware that steering wheel. There's only like a handful of steering wheels that are barely supported for Dirt 5, right?
Well, I don't. Well, maybe. I don't know. There's always that other. What was it? Was it Dirt 2 or whatever? What was the other one?
Dirt 4 was the one that you got me hooked on that made me go out and buy a wheel, you prick.
Yeah, but there's another one that is, I don't know. Now you got to have me look at my damn, library.
Dirt Rally?
Yeah, Dirt Rally 2. That one's supported by a bunch of them.
There was another one that I think we just bought too.
Yeah, I got Dirt 4. I got Dirt 5. I got Dirt Rally 2.
Well, now I got to look at my library now.
And so, yeah. But I saw a deal, for like $280. You got the wheel, you got the shifter, and you got the 3 pedals. And
you don't need all that.
No, you got to have all that, Mike. Now, the only thing it didn't come with was the actual seat and rig to put it on. So,
I got some bundle because I got games on here I never even installed, like Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, NASCAR Heat 5.
Oh yeah, and it worked with Project Cars, which I have that too.
R Factor 2.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but that has nothing to do with driving. It's just fun.
Yeah.
That one I got, I'll never forget it. I got it because one of the guys I work with said, it's by far the most realistic. I said, dude, you had the nerve to call this realistic when the gangster from the hood jumps in a Harrier jet to strafe the city. Really now?
Mm-hmm. So yeah. But it was fun to get on for a little while and do that. So, It was interesting. Look for more opportunities for that. So, but a little bit later on in the show, we'll be talking about Under Paris, the Netflix French film, which is dubbed into English, which was, just like the German Avengers film that we watched, not as bad as I thought it would be, as far as the dubbing. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. So, boy, there's there's quite a bit of movie news actually, coming out.
There's too much damn movie news going on.
There is. There's a lot. Some of it is extremely disappointing. There's a remake of Barbarella coming out in 2025, which is disheartening because according to the trailer, that has been put out, it does not look like the original Barbarella.
Well, then why the hell did they hire Sydney Sweeney?
I don't know, but for those that are curious, the original and who haven't seen the original Barbarella was basically a softcore porn movie. All right, I mean that's what it was, an R-rated porno.
Yeah,
it was right along the lines of Animal House and Revenge of the Nerds and all those others, where they got as close as they could to the line without going over it. I mean, it was very raunchy. I say that because it was one of my dad's favorites. All right. So,
okay.
So, and I was shocked to see that they were going to remake it because you can't make that movie today. You can't make that same movie today. It's like we've said before, you couldn't remake Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds today. You couldn't remake, Blazing Saddles today. The sentimentality of the audiences would not allow you to make those movies today. Okay, so I was really surprised to see that they were going to try and do Barbarella, and I think they're trying to make it into an action film instead of a sexual space spoof. So I'm not overly excited about that one. And then, yeah.
So this is going to be streaming, possibly as well.
Paramount Pictures made it.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah. I just don't. I don't know. There's some. I don't know. These next. Well, the next one that we listed off, Death Becomes Her. To me, that okay. You want to try and remake that one, maybe. I can't see anybody getting really that one doesn't have a cult following of any kind.
It wasn't a terribly huge hit when it came out, and it didn't get cult success.
It looks too cheap.
Yes.
It looked cheap when it was made, and not in a good way.
But that's the point. It always looks too cheap. Nobody cares anymore about the stars. So that actually makes sense. I think there's enough meat in the idea for someone to redo that.
I mean, you could take that and you could do She-Devil. Those both came out around, I think, the same time. She-Devil with Roseanne Barr. I think they competed in the box office with each other for the week that they were out. Neither one of them did very well, I don't think. So, but yeah, redoing that again. Did not they learn from Overboard, the remake of Overboard? Because it flopped hard, as I remember.
It did, because they also swapped the roles.
Yeah.
Which
they gender swapped. Yeah.
Yeah. So not for nothing. Anna Faris, when you compare Kurt and Goldie, who starred in the original, though they are comedy gold.
They were already
movies, right?
They were already a well-established duo as well.
Yes.
So
don't mess with this one. Now, then we have the sequel. Nobody asked for. I won't say nobody wants. Nobody asked for. The Quest for More Money, as Colin says it has to be called.
If it's called, the Search for More Money, then that's fine, because the first one called it out that they were going to do that.
Yes. We're talking, of course, about Spaceballs. Now, the problems I have with this are, one, John Candy is dead, so who is going to play Barf?
Yeah.
Two,
and Lone Star.
Lone Star's not dead.
Is that maybe I had the people wrong, but
Well, Rick Moranis is not in the movies anymore, so that causes a problem. Bill Pullman is alive, Colin.
Okay, I had it confused with somebody else then.
Were you confusing him with like Phil Hartman? Wasn't it Phil Hartman who died?
No. There's another one who looks like Bill Pullman who is dead. And I got that confused.
Joan Rivers is dead.
John Hurt is dead. What did John Hurt play? Oh well, he was just a cameo.
Yeah,
I think. Colonel Sanders is still alive.
Yep.
Dom DeLuise is dead.
Yep. Michael Winslow's still alive.
But Dom DeLuise's character was also dead, so it doesn't matter.
So there's a lot of people, but personally, my big issue with this is who is the other name that's tied to this?
Dick Van Patten.
Josh Gad.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, I really have not enjoyed anything Josh Gad is in, except The Internship, because he barely friggin' speaks. So anything else that he's been in, I have not been impressed. He ruined Avenue 5. His character was horrible.
Yes.
So I don't know. That worries me. If he
should just spend.
Is he going to be playing Barf?
Be a snowman, Josh. Just be a snowman.
But how long has it been? When did Spaceballs come out?
Oh, long time.
So at this point,
came out June 24th, 1987.
87. And it's in development, so by the time it comes out, it will have been almost 40 years.
So it's old enough to be president at this point. It's 37 years old.
Oh, God. Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere.
But there's two things it has to be. It has to be titled correctly, and it has to be better than History of the World Part 2, which I think if I made a movie of taping of mushroom growing for an hour and a half would be a better movie than History of the World Part 2.
It's just, yeah, I'm not sure that anybody really wants this. Deep down in their heart, I'm not sure that they want this because there should be a fear that it's going to suck and ruin the original.
That is the big concern.
Yeah,
you don't want to tarnish the legacy.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Jaws 3 did not destroy, and Jaws the Revenge did not destroy the greatness that is Jaws. So, okay. Maybe not.
Oh.
I just don't like Josh Gad.
Yeah.
It just has to parody the right thing. That's I'm not sure what they're trying to parody. They can't parody Star Wars again because that was what the original one was. You can't parody Star Trek because Galaxy Quest already took care of that. So what about the science fiction genre still needs to be parodied?
I don't know. But,
Stargate.
No, they're having enough trouble.
They already parodied themselves. There's an entire episode of the Stargate where they did their own parody.
Wormhole Extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? That does send us into what are some of the best, movies out there. And Mike, you came upon a list.
We love lists.
Of 30 of the best comedy movies of all time. And it'll be interesting to see which ones we know and whether we agree.
I don't normally go through the lists ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
This one I did. And I'm going to say that about half of these movies I've never seen or heard of.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we can
go through fairly quickly.
Oh, yes. So,
Okay.
like the first one, and now this covers the silent movie era as well, which there are very few silent movies that I even care to know about.
Yeah.
Duck Soup, I've heard of it because it was the Marx Brothers. That's it.
Good movie. One of my favorites. Not silent.
Bringing Up Baby, I've heard of it. That, like, I'm just winging through these real quick. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. I've heard of it because he rides the bomb. I think. We get to number 8.
One of the best
It's the
movies
first
ever
movie
made.
that I actually agree with. MASH, the movie. People forget that it was a movie first. Yes, it's overshadowed by the TV series, perhaps, but it was one of the
definitely.
best movies.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles.
Actually, a really good example of a TV show that exceeds the original movie that it was based off of.
Yes,
As well as Stargate.
one of the few, maybe.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles. Again, funny enough, the first line when they talk about it, whenever Blazing Saddles comes up in conversation, someone always manages to remark that you could never make that movie today. Yes.
Although, do you know what
That is
Mel Brooks'
correct.
response to that is? We couldn't make it back then either.
Correct. Young Frankenstein. There's a lot of Mel Brooks on here. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Well, it was a good run. And then perhaps one of my most favorite movies of the 70s, The Jerk. Funny movie. If you have not seen The Jerk, you have probably heard reference to The Jerk, or you may have read references to The Jerk if you read my previously written bio on PTRradio.com. Airplane. Let's talk about Airplane for a second. This is another one of those movies that if somebody said that they're going to try and remake it, I think the earth should just implode.
What does it even mean to remake?
Yeah.
I mean, arguably, you could say,
9.
Snakes on the Plane could be a remake of the original Airplane. It's like, it's like you run the entire same script, right?
Very true. Very true. 9 to 5 is another one. I'm not sure that they can make this today.
No.
And if they did, they would adapt it so far from the original storyline, the original script, that you might as well call it something else.
Yeah.
Not to mention, what jobs are actually 9 to 5 now?
None.
Thank God that Dolly Parton didn't sing 7 to 12 or 7 to midnight, something. Tootsie.
8 to 4:30.
Let's talk about Tootsie for a second.
It'd be a drama today.
It would be. And I believe it has been on Lifetime several times. Usually involving someone discovering themselves.
Yep.
Ghostbusters, I believe we can all agree the original Ghostbusters is a classic and set the bar for 80s comedies, or helped set the bar. Lost in America. I don't know why I don't remember this one.
I don't either.
Who's in it?
It's an Albert Brooks
Brooks.
comedy.
Oh, well, anything Albert Brooks is going to be somewhat specialized.
But 18, I think everybody's watched. It's one of my daughter's favorite movies. The Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say.
I'm watching Young Sheldon right now, and I can't. The one of his professors, all I think of every time I see him is inconceivable.
Would like to say that free tip for all the single listeners. If your significant other, this should be one of the questions before marriage. Ask them what is their opinion of The Princess Bride, and if they say they've never seen it, make them watch it. If they say they don't like it, run.
Yeah. I just watched a YouTube short where they broke down the fencing scene, at the beginning, and they took all the names and the styles that they talked about, and they cross-referenced them to actual styles, and they're like, yeah, that is an actual style, and that does make sense what they're saying there, and they fact-checked, the fight scene. So
yeah, there's several good videos on that. It's one of the best fight scenes of all time.
Yep.
Sword fighting scenes.
Number 19.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. You can't have a John Hughes list without that one.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is it good? Yes. Is it one of the 30 best of all time? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what
Probably
other.
the best John Candy movie.
I don't know. You've got a lot of John Candy movies to choose from. Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, Volunteers.
For John Candy, right? I want to say this for John Candy. Ooh, okay. I say for John Candy, actually acting movies, not John Candy just broadly being very, Anyway, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, there was. I think Becky started to say there was that other one where he was like trapped in a soap opera. That was good too. Although I probably rate that one higher than most people.
Was that Soap Dish?
Only the Lonely.
Only the Lonely.
Yep.
Oh, I love that movie. That showed
Soap
his
Dish
range.
Yes. Soap Dish was with Whoopi Goldberg.
Didn't have
Sally Field.
Eugene Levy in it too, maybe?
No. No. Who was the other guy from A Fish Called Wanda? Kevin Kline. He played the returning lover.
Oh, and Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Carrie Fisher.
Soap Dish was
Yep.
good. Coming to America.
It was
okay.
It was a good break. It was a good role for, Murphy. That's for sure. One of the few for Arsenio Hall. So
true. Very true. Wayne's World.
I think that didn't that kind of start the theme of SNL skits becoming movies?
Actually, well,
no. Blues Brothers was first.
Okay, but was there another one between Blues Brothers and that though? Maybe Coneheads.
I don't remember.
I don't remember when Coneheads came out.
no,
that was after.
Okay. But I mean, we've had quite a few at Night at the Roxbury, Superstar. I think Pat got
Ladies
a movie,
Man.
Ladies Man. They were all in that genre.
I think that is when Michaels was running a bunch of movies. So yes,
Yeah.
Blues Brothers was separate because that was just.
Belushi was already a star at that point. Aykroyd was already a star at that point. They were writing their own ticket anyway, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Wayne's World and the rest of them after that were all actually not just based off of SNL, but they were connected to SNL at the production level.
Mm-hmm. Groundhog Day at number 22. I actually think that's a pretty good Bill.
Higher.
I actually think it's a pretty good Bill Murray movie.
Well, in fairness, this doesn't say that this is in order.
No, it doesn't. It just says these are
30.
Okay.
30 best.
Okay.
So it's not.
Okay, if it's not ranked, then that's fine.
Number 23, Friday. It yes, because it appeals to,
A different demographic.
I'm gonna say, a different culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Friday is one of the most hysterical movies out there. It's one of the most quotable as well.
But you wouldn't pick like Barbershop over Friday?
No,
I think Barbershop's probably a better movie.
You know?
perhaps yes, but Ice Cube was also older at that point.
Yeah. 24.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between one of the best comedies and being one of the best
I guess.
movies. I think Barbershop's a really good movie, even beyond being a comedy.
Yeah. Clueless? Yes. Okay. Now we get to one that's going to divide this cast, this crew, the hosts. Best in Show.
Oh yeah,
I don't think that
I've seen that movie so many times.
deserves to be on the list. No. It's not even
No,
close to a lot of others I'd put on this list first.
This
Honestly,
is one of
I
those,
would just have a single
like this,
entry.
Little Miss Sunshine, Noises Off, Butter.
Better-
These are movies. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. These are all the same style of movie that you either love or hate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Christopher Guest is actually British, isn't he?
He's a lord.
He's a lord. There you go. Mm-hmm. The defense rests.
No, I'm not. That's like putting Rat Race on this list. No, I'm not doing it. Nuh-uh. This doesn't belong
So
here.
what I'm saying is, I would have a single entry that encompasses Spinal Tap, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, Mighty Wind, and there's another one that I can't remember. But anyway, those are all
But
just a single entry.
But you know what? We're not done. 'Cause the next one, Mike, what do you think of the next one? Does it belong to be on here? Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
No, I do not. I do not think it is one of the 30 best comedy movies of all time. Do I think it's a funny movie? Yes, to some extent.
It has funny
However,
moments. But to me, it's kind of like
if-
Step Brothers. It goes over the top easily.
Okay, I would actually put Step Brothers ahead of on this list instead of Anchorman.
You know,
My problem here is pretty much every Will Ferrell, Adam McKay movie, because they've paired up for quite a bit. This is just a single movie
yeah.
with different window dressing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
Now, the next one, I definitely don't agree with being on this list. Shaun of the Dead. You cannot tell me that has had the watch count that others have that aren't on this list.
this
It's
is
a
definitely
fine
cult
movie.
classic.
Yeah, I don't think it's top 30.
And the next one, I put in the same category, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Really?
I don't.
You want to pick a rom-com? Fine. Pick another one. There's a lot to choose from. Just pick another one.
This
Hey, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what else is on this list. So
Well, 29 is Bridesmaids.
this one I almost feel like is SNL adjacent because Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph, I believe, were part of the SNL cast or were just coming off the cast at this time. So I kind of feel like they were
But I would
stepping out that way.
I'd
But
rather pick like Bad Moms or something like that instead of Bridesmaids. To me, those were funnier.
It's hard. It's close between those two. I was actually thinking Bad Moms instead of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, only because you've got two of the three moms in that movie.
Yeah, true. All right,
So-
Mike, I don't know this last one. Do you know the last one?
I've heard of it. My problem here is this. No, just no. This is like a Lampoon movie. I can't. No. Pop star, never stop stopping, never stop, never stopping. This goes along with.
Lonely Island.
Yes.
That does not deserve to be on the top 30.
No. This is not one of the top 30 of all time. No way. So now the question is, what was left off?
Well, I mean,
Because the three of us have pretty different taste when it comes to movies.
you could have put National Lampoons in there for one of them, and it could have encompassed the entire catalog. You know?
Yeah, at least put Christmas Vacation. That's the one I would stick on there if I was going to put one of those. I don't think I'd put it on that list. Just saying. That if I was going to have a Lampoon.
No, I agree with you. Christmas Vacation definitely would go on there ahead of some of these other ones. I definitely agree with that.
True.
I mean, it's just there's a lot. I mean, Jesus.
Rom-coms, if you could have a rom-com on there, then I'd probably pick one with Meg Ryan.
I mean, and there's so many John.
I would see, yeah. So
okay, so where's Caddyshack?
Like Joe versus Volcano. Where is Caddyshack?
Oh, Joe, yes.
You know, where's an action movie like Beverly Hills Cop? You know, where's you know, where's an Adam Sandler movie? There's no Adam Sandler on this list at all. There's no Happy Gilmore.
Cobbler easily.
No,
been on this list.
No, you know, there's. I mean, there's just.
Where's American Pie?
Well, see, that's a National Lampoons, though, so that's why I didn't point that one out separately.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
And I think
The first ones were.
and I
really?
think because of yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if it was said in the first one, but then the later ones.
I know the later ones, like
Yeah.
the later ones where it was,
I think the later
like
ones really
Eugene
hurt.
Levy was the only returning character.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
what, but
I think they were very damaged by all the sequels. So I don't think the original American Pie has survived.
I mean,
as it
I
would have on its
don't
own.
mind it. I thought it was great, and it's another one where you couldn't make it today. You know, where's any of the rock, you know, buddy comedy films? You know, you can't tell me things like Central Intelligence, Jumanji.
No.
You know, any of those. They've got the view counts, Mike. If we're going based off of view count.
No, we are not going based off of view count because then none of the old movies would be on there.
Well, I agree.
You can't base it off of that.
Hey, you look back.
What
To,
about-
maybe even going back to old movies. You know, where's any of the Pink Panthers?
Where's Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah. I didn't see a single Robin Williams movie on there.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, personally, my favorite Robin Williams movie is Jack, but I don't know if that qualifies as a comedy.
I don't think they'd pick
So
that
much,
anyway.
but-
Where's Stripes? You know?
Yes.
Because you can't tell me that isn't in the top. You know?
As I've said before, that is the best of any of those types of movies is Stripes. And the reason I don't like so many of the other movies is they aren't as good as Stripes.
You know?
And by those kinds of movies, I include stuff like, you know, Police Squad, not Police Squad,
Police Academy.
Police Academy. You know, I look at that as
made
being
it, but-
somewhat of the same
Yeah.
as Stripes.
And-
Stripes is better.
But to your point, the sequels wound up diluting
Yeah.
the franchise.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that one, I think they went up to what, like Police Academy 12? Hightower gets a car or something?
Let me ask you this. Would Clue make the list?
Should.
Which ending?
That's, I mean, all of them,
But-
but obviously,
What's hilarious, Clue is actually becoming a much better known movie now than it was in the past. What's really, because here's a better thing than views or clicks. How many reaction videos are on YouTube for them? There was a bunch of reaction videos for Clue.
Yeah, it's like there's just like the movie that you said, Jack. One of my favorite Mike Myers movies is actually one that he's not very well known for, which is So I Married an Axe Murderer. I think it's hilarious, but it's not one of his.
Anytime the main actor plays more than one character in the movie,
So
Yeah,
that's why
disqualifying
that's
a
why
lot
the
of.
Nutty Professor is not on here.
Yeah.
Or Norbert.
But I don't know. I mean, Austin Powers, at least the first one, yeah, he plays two characters, but
Well, he plays more than two.
Yeah.
well, in the first one, that's why I got to the first one specifically.
Well, yeah, the Austin Powers could be on there as well.
What about
What
the
about
first?
Back to the Future?
Is that a comedy?
Which one do you say?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Oh no, that's not a comedy.
What about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah,
That's the
I would have
comedy.
said yes until they made the sequel that just
the last
came out,
one?
the third, that
Yeah.
completely made me say, why? Alex Winter apparently needed a paycheck because Keanu's doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
All right. I did not need John Wick getting stoned for a movie because that's essentially what it boiled down to.
Can we think of a Sandra Bullock comedy that would make the list? Because she's had several.
Well, Miss Congeniality is the one that comes out first in my head,
Yeah, me too.
but I don't think that's one of the top 30 of all time.
And I think it barely qualifies as a comedy.
Oh no, it's definitely a comedy.
Oh, it's comedic, but
Well, yeah, like it has its comedic moments, but it's more. It's heavier on the comedy. How about we put it that way? Like,
Yeah.
it's the inverse of Demolition Man. Demolition Man was more action with funny parts mixed in. This one was a funny movie with action mixed in.
Yeah, true.
right, and which is like Back to the Future. There's too much. There's too much meat on it for me to call it a comedy
You know what? We
without
haven't.
calling it a
Did we-
comedic action adventure.
Did we name any Tom Hanks movies yet?
Yes, we did.
Well, Joe versus Volcano.
Oh, okay. So Joe versus the Volcano, but I mean that's obviously not his only comedic movie.
The Money Pit was pretty good. Turner and Hooch.
Big.
Turner and Hooch arguably could be the best comedic movie with a dog.
That's true.
Co-star, lead.
Yeah.
Big, yes, Big.
Big is funny, but that's not. The meat of Big is not comedy. It's way too much drama.
Okay, but so in that case, Turner and Hooch is disqualified. It's all about solving a murder.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, Hooch dies. So that is not
Nobody
a
likes
comedy
that part.
movie. What about The Sandlot
A kids comedy movie?
or Mighty Ducks, the first one? Little
Sports
Giants.
movie.
Well, no, Little
What about-
Giants is definitely not one of them.
How about The Burbs? Is that considered
No.
a comedy movie?
It,
Oh. Hold
not
on.
one of the, should
I've
not
got
be
the
brought
one.
into consideration for this
I've got the
conversation.
one. I've got the one for Tom Hanks. Dragnet. And you can't tell me that's not a comedy movie. That's a comedy movie.
Oh, it's definitely a comedy movie. That's what
But
Dan
is it
Aykroyd
one of the top? It ain't one of the 30
How about-
best of all time.
No.
Bachelor Party.
Okay. I'm giving that consideration only because that's like a core memory type movie. Like when you were a kid, you remember that seeing Bachelor Party was a big deal,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Especially when the bus drives through the movie theater at the end.
sure, that's what I remember most about it.
I'm just saying. I was picking a good, one. But
Plus, I was going to say it's probably the best movie with Adrian Zmed, but there ain't that many of those, huh?
No. You know what? We need to get to our review though.
Yeah. Speaking of best movies of all time,
Yes. So this week we are reviewing Under Paris. Getting back in, I told my wife what we had to review, and my sister-in-law happened to be over at the house, and she goes, "Oh, that's that shark movie." And my wife goes, "Oh, you guys are on the shark kick again." And I said, "Yes, but it's a dubbed shark movie, so it's even better." And she goes, "You can watch that one without me." So, Mike, I think you took on doing the summary of this.
yeah, because I hadn't hated myself that day. All right, so Under Paris. When I heard that there was a movie about a shark terrorizing Paris, I knew we had to bump this to the queue, top of the queue. Why? Because if there's anything I hate almost as much as British stuff, it's French stuff. So this seemed to be right up my alley. Now, we were concerned that this was subtitled. It's not. It's dubbed. So we get the kung fu theater type movements of the mouth. I don't know what's worse. So we start out. Here we are. We have a shark that's growing way too fast to be normal and apparently likes to be pet, but gets mad when she gets stuck for a sample. I have no idea what the heck. So shark just goes ballistic. Lead female scientist Sophia jumps into the shark with Lilith. The shark's name is Lilith. Lilith has decided that she is a lesbian, hates the touch of man, eats the dive team, and tries to drag Sophia to meet Meg down in the depths of the ocean. Sophia escapes. Time jump, 3 years later. Fantastic. We needed to jump 3 years because, well, people died. There's a whole organization, Save Our Seas, trying to save the sharks. And they've got a track on Lilith. She's in the Seine. She needs Sophia's help. Side note, why all of a sudden am I seeing GTAC laptops pop up all over the place in every movie I watch? Now, we've got morons diving in the French dookie water known as the Seine River. Seriously, looks like my toilet after round one of my colo prep. They know there's a damn shark in the water, but they dive in anyway. What the hell kind of morons would do that? Ah, yes, French morons. Here we are, everyone looking for this shark in the dookie water, which all of a sudden is cleared up for the police to dive in. Of course. But now the police know Lilith is there. And we have the chief playing the role of Murray, the mayor from Jaws. We are not going to close the river. We have too much to lose. Yeah. Okay. All of these people watching a YouTube video out of nowhere from SOS. This call to action. Y'all French bastards really need to get some hobbies if you're going to see these YouTube videos pop up that quick. Unless, of course, you're French and you're watching PTR Radio right now. In that case, je m'appelle mi amor. Anyway, now they realize there are two sharks, Lilith and Baby Lil. Of course, there are always two. Star Wars taught us that. Jaws 3 taught us that. Didn't these folks watch Jaws 3? Mika is the hippie that thinks nothing in nature will hurt her. I am trying to save nature. They will not hurt me. Well, ain't that a cute freaking sentiment? Into panic becomes full-on smorgasbord for the Sharks, which is pretty awesome, until French a-holes knock Bill unconscious and send her under. Why no one has started shooting at these Sharks until after a cop gets eaten is beyond me, but it proves just how much that French police ain't much better than Compton police. Now, we reach a point where we need to rename Lilith to Mary. And everyone finally agrees that this shark is bad news. About freaking time. They hatch a plan, no pun intended, to end the Sharks. And what I don't understand is how these guys are still screaming while 15 Sharks are taking bites out of them. Mary Lilith knocks the police boat 30 feet in the air in one of the greatest spectacles of all time. And not a single person on that side of the river saw it happen. This is a joke, right? But now the mayor's reaping what she sowed when Mary Lilith feasts on all the triathletes swimming in the French Dookie water. The entire river becomes an underwater minefield with a giant tidal wave caused by the shock because, well, what do you have on the bottom of Dookie water? Bombs. This is fantastic. In the end, our heroes are being circled by many shark fins, and it fades to the credits where we see maps all over the world showing offspring of Mary Lilith. Sequels? Series? Is this the new Sharknado? I don't know. Perhaps. Puke to Schnikes, I'm going to give it a smirk. The science is so wrong, it is non-existent, and I think it disproves itself several times throughout the course of the movie, but the sharks themselves are perhaps the best-looking sharks we have seen on the screen since Deep Blue Sea. Even in Dookie water.
Colin, you want to go next?
Sure. A couple things. First off, if there is a sequel, is it going to be called Planet of the Sharks?
There already is a movie called Planet of Sharks.
Oh, but what I'm saying is this looks like the beginning. It's like Planet of the Apes,
Yes.
but sharks are taking over. So they really looked like that's what they were creating. Is they, we're going to go into the future, and a new Charleston Heston type person will show up and drop onto a world of talking sharks, and then at the end, I don't know.
Talking sharks. Earned.
But the science of this is supposed to be we're overfishing the oceans, so there isn't enough food for the sharks. So the sharks respond by getting very large and no longer requiring males, so they're born already pregnant. So there's more sharks, more giant sharks. Why do we get more giant sharks? Because there's not enough food for the sharks in the first place. That didn't make any sense. So there's these shells from World War II that are like on the bottom of the San River that apparently when they blow up they create more water. Because otherwise, how did Paris get flooded by bombs going off? Because the only thing I can figure out is that they generated water.
The sharks destroyed the catacombs and it caused it to sink.
It caused Paris in general to sink.
Yes.
Anyway, it made no sense.
Why not?
I was just say that made I did not understand how they suddenly had Paris underwater, but it made for it looked good. It looked good. So, yeah, it was her fault. They never really went back to note this, but so at the beginning of the movie, she has all of her scientists, including her husband, out in the middle of the ocean trying to tag sharks without a shark cage. And everybody seems to be okay with this until they suddenly get attacked by sharks. Oh my goodness, they got attacked by sharks. Wow. I did enjoy, though, that entire sequence there ended with a recreation of the original Jaws coming out of the water, but it's her. So that was interesting. Um, anyway, to say they should have gone back and said, hey, not only because someone said it was her fault for being there, they shouldn't have been there, but they never really said, actually, is it your fault for putting your husband in the middle of the ocean without a shark cage with sharks? So anyway, I'll leave it at a smirk as well. I think it was basically Sharknado with no comedy. Is for the best way you can imagine what this movie is like. Um, but it's definitely better than that. It was watchable.
All right, so I'm going to tell you some of the science, some of the facts are correct. So yes, there is a great Pacific. What? There is a great Pacific garbage patch.
Yeah.
That is a thing. It is 1.6.
Which has nothing to do with the sharks, but okay.
I'm just going to say it is 1.6 million square kilometers. So that was real at the beginning of the movie. So if you think, oh no, we don't have this giant, garbage island. Yes, we do. All right. Also, if you think, well, there's no way there's bombs underneath, in the river. Well, yes, there are.
Oh yeah, there's no problem. Yeah, no problem with the bomb.
2022, they unearthed 150 World War II shells from the river, and that's just a small sampling of what they found for unexploded ordnance that were dropped during the war. So,
but do they generate water when they blow up?
No, it's just shockwave, water, etc., right? So some of that science, some of the facts make sense. All right, but yes, much of the science of like sharks suddenly becoming like self-replicating frogs, not make sense. Just like it didn't make sense in Jurassic Park, but and to have a shark that got pregnant and suddenly had babies and now they're the size of makos, in the tunnels doesn't make sense either. So especially that darn many of them there in the catacombs. But I have to agree. Most realistic sharks we've seen in any movie, most realistic action sequences we've seen in any movie, and for once, the sharks win, which is not something we typically see in a shark movie. So for all those reasons, I am also going to give it, I'm going to give it a SEG, and, because I thought this was actually a very good movie, even with the weird, dubbing that I had to deal with. But it was interesting movie. It was kind of fun to watch, and it was entertaining. I will say though, I'm glad that the one hippie scientist got eaten, because it was her fault that they couldn't track the stupid shark in the first place. Because her having her girlfriend turn things off was the dumbest thing in the whole darn movie.
Yes. And the girlfriend who didn't want to do it, she's the one who got knocked out and sent down into the deep, and I felt bad for her.
Mm-hmm. So, yep. But there we go. Okay, now...
I didn't forget one thing to say is that we forgot to mention that the sharks are also dimensionally wizards, in that even though the sharks are very, very large, they're able to swim through puddles.
Yeah.
But while still staying underwater.
Yeah. Now,
so you can't get away from them just because there's a wall there. As long as there's some film of water, they will get through it.
Now we have already figured out our movie for the next show. This movie is coming out on Wednesday on Netflix. It is Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Synopsis: 40 years after his unforgettable first case in Beverly Hills, Detroit cop Axel Foley returns to do what he does best: solve crimes and cause chaos. So, Eddie Murphy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tyler Page. This should be an interesting sequel. We are somewhat breaking our rules, but I think we have all seen the first two Beverly Hills Cops movies, so I think we're familiar with Axel Foley.
Yes.
So I don't believe Eddie Murphy was in the third one, so we didn't miss anything
Yes,
there.
he was.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
I thought that was mostly Judge Reinhold that was in that one.
Well, Judge Reinhold was kind of the star, but I do believe that Eddie Murphy was in the third one.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Oh, I think Kevin Bacon's in this too. All right. So, but I think we'll be okay. We should be fine. And there's some nice cameos by some of the original film stars. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many people seeing Axel F know what the thing about Axel F actually is.
It's the title of a song.
Right, but how many people actually know that?
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see who makes cameos. So, anyway, that's what we have coming up in the next show. For those that are curious, I actually will be out at Lakeside Christian Church tomorrow, doing their family fun night again. So if you happen to be out there between 5:30 and 7:30, give me a holler. I'll be out there. But Mike, Colin, you guys got anything coming up?
No.
Okay. Well, otherwise we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks puts us at the 15th. So, folks, we will see you in a couple weeks. Until then, try and stay cool because it is miserable out there. So,
And if you can, please don't do fireworks this week because just think of all the dogs out there who really don't want you to do that.
and veterans. Think of veterans too. So, all right, folks, that's it for this evening's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for telling your friends all about the show. We really do appreciate that. Don't forget the only way that we grow the show is by you guys tuning in, listening, and telling everybody about it. So, tell your friend, tell your neighbor, tell your kids, as long as they're of age. We appreciate that. All right. With that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the 8 Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.